Hello, everybody. We have another special interview. It's special for me because I have my students, and my students are my superstars. So in front of us, in front of me, I have one of my former students, Daniel from Venezuela. Daniel, hello, how are you?
Hi, Kyle. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. So quickly, Daniel is another Venezuelan. Venezuelans like me. Actually, first question for you, Daniel. Why do Venezuelans like me? Can you tell me why Venezuelans like me? Any hypotheses?
I guess you're very funny.
Yeah. Venezuelans have a good sense of humor. I agree. Venezuelans are very funny people, very laid back people. Some of my favorite Latinos for sure. All right. So I guess from my perspective, I don't want to say summary. Summary sounds very professional, treating you like you're an item or something, but a quick background on Daniel. So Daniel was my student for, how long was it? 1 year or 2 years? Maybe 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, Daniel
Two
says like
years,
two
yes.
long years. Well,
No,
actually,
I'm
it was interesting.
impressed.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. I was
Yeah.
there for 2 years. Not because it was bad. It's just because, oh my gosh, the time ran pretty fast. I never
Yeah.
thought it would be like 2 years. And I look back forward and I say, oh my gosh, it's like 2 years.
Yeah. Time flies when you're having fun. Well, actually, Daniel's interesting because he started taking classes, well, with me, but not with me, because he started taking classes right when the pandemic started, more or less. And at that time, I had a whole bunch of people wanting to take classes, and I wanted to experiment with trying to have other teachers teach. So at that time, I hired 3 other gringo teachers, and they taught for me for between like 2 and 4 months. So Daniel was in classes, but not with me. I think it was Malachi, right? You were with Malachi for
Yeah,
the first
Malachi.
4
Malachi.
months, something like that.
Yeah, with Malachi.
Yeah. And Malachi, he's from the United States. He was a young guy. I think he's from North Carolina. And yeah, so
Yes.
Daniel's with him. I think you had fun with Malachi. It seemed like you had a good time.
Yeah. It was very fun.
Yeah.
But very easy to learn with him too.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
I got a nice guy.
Yeah. And then, yeah, Malachi, he disappeared and I had to take over all the classes. So yeah, Daniel, I started a new group class and Daniel came in with me. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of Venezuelans. For whatever reason, Daniel's group class had lots of Venezuelans. Like in those 2 years, I think 50% up to 70% of the class was always Venezuelans. So it was always a crazy class because of course Venezuelans, lots of energy, very friendly. So lots of laughter, lots of craziness in those classes.
And we like to learn too. So,
That's true. Yeah. When I say craziness, it doesn't mean that was all fun and games. Of course,
no,
I
no, I
always like
know.
those
I
classes because
know.
you guys always ask good questions. We're always very curious about everything. So yeah, it was good. All right, let's talk a little bit about you, Daniel. So Daniel, you're from Venezuela. Which part of Venezuela are you from?
I am from a little town that is called Cocorote.
I think you always told me, and I always said I'm not gonna remember that name. I don't. I think even but in Venezuela they have states. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
States.
So I think even your state is not very
No,
easy to
it's not.
remember.
Yeah, it's called Yaracuy.
Oh yes, I'm not gonna remember that state either. So
Yaracuy.
more or less, where
It's
is it
like
located in Venezuela?
it's like in the middle
Okay.
center of
All right.
Venezuela. It's like if you want to have a reference, a better reference, it's like 4 hours away from Caracas and
So
like
basically
two and a half.
south, right? Because Caracas is on the coast, so it's like south of Caracas.
It's actually mostly to the east, if I'm not
Okay.
wrong.
All right.
Like
Yeah.
we are like the center of Venezuela.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
we're close to the coast too, but
Okay.
not
Oh,
that
so you're not that far
close.
from the coast. Okay.
Not that close,
All
yes.
right.
So it's like we're between Valencia and Barquisimeto. It's like which are like big cities
Barquisimeto,
in
Valencia.
Venezuela.
Okay. All right. Oh, is that east or is it west? Is that more west, isn't it?
Yes.
It's
Yes,
west. Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Because I think to the east I think the biggest city in the east is, I just like geography. So be patient with me, Daniel. I think to the east is Ciudad Bolivar. What's that big city in the east? Which I think it's kind of dangerous right now. Well, I think obviously lots of Venezuela is dangerous, but I think it's very dangerous in that city. I think it's like Ciudad Bolivar, something like that.
But why dangerous? In which
I don't know. I just heard that.
because
I think they said it's dangerous right now because it's kind of close to Brazil, and the border between Brazil and Venezuela right now is kind of hot. And I think there's also lots of illegal gold mining. I think that was one of the other reasons that's very dangerous in Ciudad Bolívar. Yeah.
Yeah, Barquisimeto is more like for the northwest.
Yeah, northwest. Yeah. Well, yeah, Barquisimeto is kind of in between Caracas and Maracaibo, right? Yes. I just like geography. I try to talk to people about geography.
Well, that's okay. I should have known
You're
better about my
Venezuelan. You should know
my
about your
own
country.
geography.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I never pay attention to those details.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
Barquisimeto is like between, it's like depends which way you take, but it's like I'm between I think it's just because it's in the middle,
Yeah.
northwest.
Okay.
But like you have Maracaibo
Mhm.
from one side, not Maracay. Maracay is mostly to the
Isn't Maracay close to Barquisimeto?
Maracay is close to Caracas
Oh, okay.
and
Okay.
close to Valencia.
Okay.
It's Aragua.
Uh-huh. Well, I
Yeah.
think yeah.
Yeah, but just
I
please
think,
don't put this this interview
yeah.
because my
all
Venezuelan farmers
all the Venezuelans will be very disappointed in you. Jeez, you don't know
are
your
on the same
country.
situation that I am, but I don't want to take that risk. I'm very bad with geography.
All right. So, anyways, you're from this state that I don't really know that well, and a town that very few people know, probably even in Venezuela. I'm guessing Venezuelans don't know where your town is, or is it a very popular town for Venezuelans?
No, it's not very popular. Actually,
No.
when I left Venezuela and I met new Venezuelan friends and I mentioned where I am from, they were like, "Where is that? What's cocorote?"
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not very popular. But like I have a friend from like kind of a new friend from Barquisimeto, and he lives in New York. So he said that when he used to travel from Barquisimeto to Yaracuy, he sees the signs where it says cocorote. So he remembers cocorote, but most of my friends don't know what is cocorote or what is it.
Yeah. So yeah, how many people are in that town? Do you know? Is it like really small, like 10,000, or is it bigger than that?
Yeah, like probably I think is 15,000.
15,000? Okay. All right. Not bad. All right. So obviously you're not in Venezuela anymore. Well, you got a strange story. Yeah. So we might have to spend some time on this. So obviously, like many Venezuelans, you left Venezuela. And obviously every Venezuelan's journey out of Venezuela is different. So maybe quickly, how did you get out of Venezuela? How did you escape from Venezuela? What was your journey?
Actually, it was in 2016. I had a visa, like a tourist visa, to go to the US.
Okay.
I got it like years before that, but I was finishing my master degree in Venezuela. I'm an industrial engineer, and I also have a master degree in organizational communication. And I was finishing that. I have an uncle who lives in the US in New York, so he invited me to spend some time there. I had like a very time of vacations, and I decided just to go to New York. And so since the first day I got in New York, I just love it, and I spent like I was planning to spend just 2 months there. So then my uncle convinced me to stay longer and to start studying English, because in New York there was like a public school. And And he said, why, what do you have to do in Venezuela? So what are you gonna do there? So Venezuela is getting worse and worse. And actually, like 2016 was like a very hard year for us, for Venezuelans. It was like,
Well, I think that
like,
I think that was the worst year of the crisis, right? That was
yes,
when all the Venezuelans
yes.
were leaving the country.
We started living, yeah,
Yeah.
like big. We started living because of the
The crisis.
situation,
Yeah.
the crisis. Yes, it was like in the maximum point where everything was like so, um, like out of control. Yeah, out of
As
control.
we
Yeah,
say in English, the shit was hitting the fan.
yeah. Shit, what's hitting the pot?
All right. Yeah. But yeah, in your case, yeah. So it sounds like you actually had a pretty easy time getting out of Venezuela. Yeah, when you went to New York, was it because of the crisis, or just I was like, oh, I got a visa, I'm going to go to New York and for
And I was
vacation?
working.
Oh,
I was working too. So I was working in Venezuela. I mean, so
okay.
I had a job.
Okay.
It was just like I hadn't taken any vacation in a long
Okay.
time.
Okay.
So I had some money saved. And of course, having the opportunity to have my uncle who gave me, like a place to stay, and he guided me to do everything. He's been living in the US in New York like for 20 years or 25 years, something like that. And it was a great opportunity. I said, like, of course I'll go. I want to go.
Yeah.
And it was kind of one of my goals to go to New York someday. And I finally did it. And I went there, and I was supposed to stay like for 2 months. I I I came into the country, to the US, pretty easy without any problem. I didn't have uh, any issue for being Venezuelan or for the crisis or anything. We weren't that popular at that point yet.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Now,
But we were popular for other things, not for living the country or
okay. Yeah.
moving to the US or something like that. So
Yeah.
the things are like getting worse in Venezuela. So my uncle convinced me to stay and to go to this public school,
It was a
because
public school.
I
So it was a
thought
public school or an institute?
it was a public school. It
Okay.
was like I don't know. It's probably these help centers that help immigrants to with
Okay.
courses and to take classes, like free classes. You don't pay anything.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of programs. I mean, it's like
Okay.
programs that help immigrants or people who don't have money to pay at school or things like that. So I thought in my mind before going to the US that I understand English very well and that I speak English and things like that, because I was taking like particular English classes in Venezuela.
Okay.
And I had like a really good teacher. She's like amazing. But I thought in my mind I was like I almost have it. I'm pretty sure when I go to the US, I'm gonna talk and I'm going to understand everything. But when I got there and people start talking to me,
You're lost.
I didn't know shit.
You didn't know shit. Well, I like this
I
one
was
in English.
totally lost.
You didn't know diddly squats. You didn't know diddly squats.
Yeah. No, it was like I am, you are, just what we get in Venezuela. Venezuela, we English is like part of our classes, and it's like mandatory, but it's not that helpful for us to learn it or to get engaged with the language, because it's just one class per week that they give you, and it's just very basic, or you use your dictionary or things like that, but it's not like the culture. It's not like now that I can tell, probably because of the globalization and people understand that English is like a very important language around the world. So like parents who are aware of that and they can afford to help their children are trying to involve them with English since they are kids, like tiny kids.
Yeah.
But in my situation, it was like very poor English. And of course, when I went to the US, I was like lost. I was totally lost. And so I found this school that offers programs, like free programs for people who don't have money to afford or don't have like a status, like I had a legal status because I was a tourist at that point. But in the end, it's just like for people who live there, probably would be more helpful. I wasn't planning to live in the US or to stay there for more than the time that I'm allowed to be there. So
Yeah.
but my uncle finally convinced me. He convinced me to stay longer. I applied for this school. I was when they gave me like a placement test. I took a placement test, and I was on like level 0. That was my yeah, 0.
All right.
I actually went with 2 more friends, Venezuelans, that I met during that time, and like the 3 of us took the exam, and I was level 0. My other friend was level 2, and the other one was level 5. So of course they put us in like different classrooms, different schedules, different everything. So I didn't have the chance to stay with them, but that experience helped me to introduce myself to the language like in a different perspective than high school or something like that. It's not as it is going to probably a private school where you have more attention or more, or they're more strict, or because a lot of people who like different ages, different cultures, different backgrounds. There were people who probably were like very they didn't have also like good skills in Spanish. So they speak Spanish, but they don't know how to write Spanish because they didn't go to school when they were younger, you know. So it's like and people who were in the US for 15 years, 20 years, 12 years, and they didn't speak the language. So they were like learning. So it was kind of hard because it was like a mix of a little bit of everything. So and I learned what I had to learn from there. And I improved from level 0 to level 5. But on the Polish schools program standard, you know, it's like that level allowed me to go to like a private school later. And I got level 3 of 10 levels. So they have 10 levels in the school where I went, Hunter School in New York. And I got the 3rd level on my placement test, thanks to what I learned for 8 months in the little school, as I call it.
Yeah, I think the public schools usually have lower standards. It's like, oh yeah, you went up a level, and sometimes you didn't really advance that much, but you know they have lower standards.
But it worked for me. You know, it worked for me in the sense that it like, you know, we tend to be very shy because we don't want to make mistakes. We don't want to be here. We don't want to be listened to from other people that is gonna judge you or I don't know, or make you feel embarrassed for your way of speaking. But it helped me to feel like less nervous, less shy, to talk about, to see what's going on around, how does it work here, and this and that. So it was like mostly the experience that gave me to move on.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, it's interesting because lots of Latinos, uh, they have bad experiences learning English, and like yeah, lots of students of mine, they come to me and they're like, oh, I had such bad experiences, but it sounds like you had good experiences learning English. Like basically every step of the way where you've learned English, every place that you've gone to, it's helped you advance a little bit, right? But actually, I want to talk more about English in a little bit. First, I want to talk more about your story. So yeah, you were in New York. So your plan was to be there for 2 months. Yeah, I remember in classes, you always said New York is your favorite city in the world. If you could live anywhere, you would live in New York. So yeah, and of
Got
course,
people tired. I got people tired with that topic. I know.
yeah,
It's just like
Daniel,
more
shut
like
up about New York. Oh yeah, enough
yeah,
about
but
New York.
it's I think it's just like for me to be like the attraction law, like that. Of course, I have to
Law of
say it
attraction. Yeah,
many times, and I have
yeah,
to say it all the time, and it's
yeah,
gonna happen again. So
yeah, yeah. But yeah, so you're originally only going to go there for 2 months, and then it sounds like so you were there for 2 months. Then you took these classes for 8 months. So yeah, in total, how long were you in New York for?
of course, I followed then like a different
Hmm.
um legal process. So I
Yeah, yeah.
applied for an extension to stay.
Hmm.
Then I applied for like a student status to stay longer too. So
Hmm.
well, then happened different personal things in my life, and and everything changed. But I just like one thing just
It's
bring
like
the other one. So
yeah,
it's
one thing
like
led to
yeah,
another. Just
led
everything.
me to another one. Just it was like I
Nothing was really planned. You just something happened.
no,
Oh, I'm gonna
yeah,
stay here a
it
little bit
wasn't my
longer.
plan. Just
Yeah.
yeah, it just started happening, and I just accepted it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and also, um, my uncle, he
Mm-hmm.
helped me a lot, a
Okay.
lot. He was like, he was that. I always think that we have to, you have like a good angel in one here, and you
Uh-huh.
have like the little
The bad
devil,
the devil
like
on the other.
the
Yeah.
devil here in the other
Yeah.
one. So
Yeah.
I was like, my uncle is a devil.
Oh, he's the devil. Okay. I thought you were gonna say
Mostly
he was
in
a
a
good
good sense.
influence.
He got good
Oh,
sense
okay.
because he always was like, just stay, who cares? Just
Hmm.
quit to that job or
Yeah,
just
yeah.
apply for this extension.
Hmm.
Nothing's gonna happen. What are you gonna risk? You're young,
Yeah, yeah,
just you're here already. Venezuela is horrible. So I
yeah.
was always concerned about
Mm.
staying. I never want to stay like in like illegal
Yeah, illegally.
because
Yeah.
I know it's like a pain, mostly
Hmm.
because of that, because, and because all my family is in Venezuela, my mom, my dad, and
Hmm.
I value that very much. So
Yeah, yeah.
I was just looking for options. So
Hmm.
and by looking for options, I just found good people who
Hmm.
helped me to go
Okay.
through it, and
Hmm.
I just in like at the end I just decided to stay.
Hmm.
And of course I was supposed to be for 2 months. Then
Hmm.
I applied for an extension, and they
Hmm.
applied for a different like for a student status, and I changed my status stay later.
Hmm.
Like um and so I
Yeah.
was here, and
Yeah.
I
So
just
so how long was it? Like 2 years, 3 years? How long were you in New York for?
3 years
3 years?
three
Okay.
years
And I remember you told us in class, I think you worked as a waiter for a while. How long did you work as a waiter in New York?
like for 8 months.
For 8 months? And was that like the end of your stay in New York, or was that the beginning? When did you
The
work as a
middle,
waiter?
the
In the
middle,
middle? Okay,
when
yeah.
I was able to work. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, because it sounds like when you arrived to New York, you said you didn't like you thought you spoke English, but you realized you didn't really speak English that well. Yeah.
Sorry, but
Yeah.
I didn't work like a regular waiter. So it
Oh,
was like
okay.
a waiter for like private events. It
Ah,
wasn't
okay.
like I have to take care of people or
Uh,
things like that, like
yeah.
to take an order
Ah,
or
okay.
to
Oh, so it's like one of those like
describe a menu.
yeah,
It's
it's one
just
of those like
like you're
conference waiters where you
here.
take out the food, you
Yeah,
take away the
you have to do
plates.
this and just
Yeah.
bring it here and bring it back. And the
Hmm.
manager was like a Hispanic, he was Hispanic, and
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I didn't want to like. And when someone like a guest or someone that is not
Hmm.
Hispanic asked me for something and talked to me, I was just like sweating, nervous.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, actually, like I remember, like when I remember what it was like a very horrible experience. I
Hmm.
mean, in the sense of being so nervous and so
Mhm.
pressured about people asking me something because I didn't know the language and I didn't know how to say or what to do, or I didn't want to be judged, or I didn't want to be blamed for my boss for something that I
Mhm.
did wrong, or
Mhm.
things like that. Or so I was just carrying like a trail of streams, and
A
it
tray
was like
of
some
dreams?
ah
So yeah, a tray of what?
stream,
Tree?
shrimp,
What's that?
shrimp,
Oh, shrimp. Oh yeah, shrimp. Okay, shrimp.
shrimp.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
Sorry.
shrimp. Yeah,
See, I still having trouble with that word. So you
I
can
say
tell it's
so a
a
tray.
horrible word.
Ah, it's not that bad. So a tray of shrimp. You're carrying a tray of shrimp.
I'll try a shrimp.
Okay, yeah. Uh-huh.
Right. So I of course, like other people, like they were the other waiters, they were giving something different, like I don't know, something easier,
Okay.
but they gave me shrimp, and I was like, okay, I hope nobody asked me because I forgot about this name, and I know some people like me
Mhm.
are allergic to shrimp. I'm allergic to
Okay.
shrimp,
Okay.
and so and a lot of people also ask, oh, also ask, what is that, what are you
Mhm.
giving me, it's like
Mhm.
I want to know, because some people are like tolerate to something, or
Yeah.
anyways, I was there and I was like praying inside of me, in the middle of that room,
Mhm.
with full of people, like of course they look like rich people,
Okay. Yeah.
and
Mhm.
they were very fancy. I don't know if
Mhm.
it was a wedding or something like that, but
Mhm.
it was like I was sweating
Mhm.
and praying,
Mhm.
please, I don't want anybody, please God, just nobody take anything from this trade. I don't want anybody to take. Nobody asked me.
Yeah.
But people ask me, what? Oh, hey, what's that? And I return, what? Sorry, can you repeat it in French? I didn't know what I was saying. It was
Yeah.
horrible. It wasn't. It was like very stressful. It's very
Traumatizing
stressful.
experience.
But
Yeah.
those experiences also gave me the motivation to
Mhm.
learn,
Mhm.
because it was like some people get scared and they don't
Mhm.
want to work on or do anything
Mhm.
that involve to speak English, or they
Mhm.
prefer to be like to do something that they don't like,
Mhm.
but it's easier because they don't have to learn or speak the language.
Yeah.
But in my case, I say no. If I want to keep doing this, or if I want to improve my
Mhm.
opportunities or anything, I have to learn English no matter
Mhm.
what, and I have to do it, and I have to push myself because I'm sure I can do it.
Yeah.
And so it was like that.
So you worked as like a server. Were there any other jobs that you had while you were in New York, or was that the only one that you had?
Yeah, I know. I also, yeah, like
That was the major
I
one that you did?
no, I also worked in a restaurant, but it was like behind the scenes. So
Yeah.
it
Okay. Yeah.
wa-
Nobody really
I
saw you.
no, nobody
No.
really. But like when I actually when I started at the restaurant,
Hmm.
it wasn't as a waiter. It was like a utility, and and
So utility, is that dishwasher, or is that
it's not a
like,
dishwasher.
or the
It's just
busser, like the assistant for the waiters?
no,
No, not
no,
that
because
either.
I didn't get tips.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah. Okay.
My
Yeah. Yeah.
job,
Yeah.
my job
So it's just,
didn't
I
work.
think it kind of sounds like utility, just somebody who just does
It's
random
like an
stuff.
assistant and the kitchen,
Yeah.
or but like to. It's like it was mostly to prepare, to put everything together to open the restaurant, and
Oh,
also
okay. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
and also um to be aware of anything that is
Mhm.
missing,
Okay.
or like during the journey,
You kind of, yeah, you're in charge of supplies and making sure the restaurant was ready
exactly,
for service. Okay.
bring stuff up and down, and
Yeah.
refill, like I don't know, the little salsas,
Yeah. 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 Makes sense.
things like that, or put stuff on the tables, or
Uh-huh.
replace the placement, the
The
individual things that
yeah, the placemats, I think. The
the
placemats, stuff like
placemats,
that.
yeah,
Okay. All
placements,
right.
yeah,
All right.
those
Actually,
ones, things like that. So
yeah.
I wasn't actually in contact to people, and most of the staff
Mhm.
from there was Mexican, Ecuadorian, so everybody speaks Spanish. So
Yeah.
I wasn't.
I think in most, I think in most American cities, I think all the cooks, all the utilities, all the bussers are Hispanic. In Chicago, I noticed that. I know I watched Anthony Bourdain. He's a famous, well, he's dead now, but he had a restaurant and he said like all the cooks were Mexicans or Ecuadorians. So yeah, just seems like Latinos are the cooks
Yeah.
and the servers right now in the United States. And I'm always curious about this because you have lots of experience in the United States and also Canada now. Were there any, or were there some culture shocks that you had when you moved? Is there anything that you remember, like something that was really different or something that really surprised you about gringos?
Well, in New York, especially,
Mhm.
it was surprised to me, like people is like kind of rude in a way.
Yeah.
So it's like,
But rude, because I know like New York is famous for being the city that never sleeps. So rude in the sense where they don't really have time to talk to people, or rude in the sense
exactly.
where they feel like they're better than other people, or both.
No, no. Well, I didn't get that feeling from like from for them being better than other people. I don't know.
Mhm.
I guess like the way we are, and probably like the speed of the city is too fast that people are like very involved in their own thing all the time.
Yeah.
They don't care about saying hello or good morning or goodbye
Yeah.
unless it's something very private or small. But if you are in the bus, like in Venezuela, my parents taught me to all the time. If you go to a bus, to our office, into our office, or anywhere, you say good morning, good evening, hello. So like for me, it was kind of shocking going to the subway or on a bus and nobody say anything. So it
Yeah,
was
like
like,
no
okay, I
small
guess,
talk. Yeah, no small
yeah,
talk in New York.
not even like the greetings. Like when you get into a place, it's like for us, at least in my family, it's very important to say good morning, like everybody. It's not like I appeared there and I didn't say anything, or it's a good manner to say good morning and to answer too.
Yeah, for sure.
And those are things that it was hard to me to understand at the beginning. Later, I understood that it's a big city. Everybody is in their own things. It's like a very fast city. Everybody is doing their thing. The schedule is very tight. And plus, something else is like it's natural for me to help people when someone needs help. Like I don't know, to help like an adult person to cross the street would be something that I would naturally do in Venezuela. Here I don't do it anymore because that's kind of people don't want to be touched for anybody, and people are used to do their own thing. They know the city better than you. They have been doing this for years, or things like that. And also, I know it's kind of dangerous because you can get in troubles and legal troubles because some people also think that you're harassment then or you are like harassing or
No, harassing. Yeah, you're harassing them,
harassing,
or harassing them.
harassing them or you're gonna steal them. It's just like I learned that it's better just to be blind in that sense. Unfortunately, even when you want to help, it's just better done. It's because it could get you troubles. So and you don't want troubles. Mostly as an immigrant.
Yeah, for sure.
And those kind of things shocked me. Also the like the drugs. I have to say it. People
The drugs,
who take
like you
like
saw it in the
marijuana.
streets, or like just like
Yeah.
when you're going meeting people at houses, apartments, just everybody was doing drugs.
Both.
Yeah. Yeah.
On the streets, on the subway, like and parties with people that I know.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was like shocked because not that doesn't happen in Venezuela. It
Yeah.
happens in
Yeah.
Venezuela probably a lot, but in
Hmm.
Venezuela that's a taboo. So
Hmm.
like marijuana is a taboo in Venezuela. So
Yeah.
and and here in like Canada and the US, marijuana is just marijuana. It's just like I don't know for like for the majority of people.
Hmm.
And for those who don't do marijuana,
Hmm.
they understand that it's just marijuana, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
In
Exactly.
Venezuela, marijuana is like it's marihuanero, you know,
Hmm. Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
marihuanera. And it's
Uh-huh.
like, oh my God, poor thing. And
Uh-huh.
it is like rich people, like very, very rich people, very important people just do marijuana
Hmm.
like a cigarette or anything
Yeah.
else. So but at the beginning was very shocked to me, like, oh my gosh, it was like those marihuaneros, this
Mhm. Yeah. Well, was it
I
just
don't
marijuana? Because obviously, like gringos consume all types of drugs. So
yes.
was it
Well,
marijuana that you mostly noticed, or did you notice other drugs as well?
I saw other drugs too,
Mhm.
but those were more like to me were more like scary.
Yeah, the hard drugs. I'm guessing
Yeah, the
mostly was
hard
probably like
drugs.
heroin
It's
and
very
then
like yeah, same people actually doing like
mm,
the thing like putting stuff on his nose or her
yeah.
nose, like smelling it and like like as I told you, I grew up like in a very like uh I'd say small town
Hmm.
where everybody knows everything
Hmm.
and everybody knows each other,
Hmm.
or mostly in general, you know,
Hmm.
it's like a small town. And you hear from people who did this or who is doing this, but you don't see it. So it's just
Hmm.
like you hear sometimes it's just um, people
Like
talking
yeah,
or something,
rumors, hearsay. Yeah.
rumors, yes,
Hmm.
gossip, uh, but and never was involved with anybody in
Hmm.
Venezuela
Yeah.
during my whole life who do drugs. Not in
Hmm.
my family, no friends. It was very normal and healthy environment, and not that not. Well, anyways, I don't want to clarify that marijuana is healthy or not because it's like
Yeah,
it's a
it's
different
controversial. Yeah.
opinion. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
controversial.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but seeing it here like in person and experimenting it and
Hmm.
being so close to it,
Yeah.
it was like shocked in the
Hmm.
beginning
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I heard about the stories,
Hmm.
but I wasn't used to.
Hmm.
uh, I don't know, I was scared. I didn't know how to act
Hmm.
or what to do.
Hmm.
Never tried before because I don't have that need. I don't want that
Yeah. Yeah.
curiosity or anything.
Yeah.
But of course, people offer to you and see you like a
Yeah.
weird thing, like you don't do very well. Come
Yeah.
on, or you don't. It's just a drug. Just it's gonna make you don't do mushrooms. They make you
Yeah.
laugh a lot and make you laugh and laugh and laugh and
Hmm.
things like that.
Yeah.
That I want, but I don't need them. You know, I don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? Probably it's gonna be fun, but I don't want to try something that I don't need. And
Yeah. Yeah.
and also if something is gonna if I try it's gonna be worse because I'm gonna be kind of addicted to it or I'm gonna
Hmm.
want to try everything. I don't
Yeah.
want to if I don't need it, why I have to do it. So
Yeah.
um I'm always being like stand up with myself. Like
Yeah. Like
I
you know
know
who
my
you
limits
are.
and
Yeah.
I know who I am and I don't judge anybody mostly
Yeah.
in this time because like but that time I was like scary or confused
Hmm.
or very ignorant of the situation in
Hmm.
the country but uh, uh but uh, but yes it was like shocked in the beginning, then now I understand uh some causes of why people do it and I
Hmm.
also understand that it's not a big deal as I
Hmm.
thought it was before, so it's just like
Yeah. 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 Yeah, it's a controversial topic. Even for gringos, people still
I don't know
talk
any
about it.
other culture shock that I
Oh, yeah, I
remember in
think those
this
are two big
moment.
ones.
It's
Yeah,
like,
for sure. Yeah, the drugs, of course, and
yeah, the greetings and
yeah,
the and to help people and all the stuff. It was, and of course, like uh the stations, like the seasons, the
oh, the
different
seasons.
seasons. And
Okay, yeah.
yeah, that was something that it was nice to experience. But it was like I come from a very tropical country, like very
Yeah,
warm,
for me, it's always
very
funny
hot.
when you talk to people like from Venezuela or Colombia, like, oh, it's winter right now in Colombia. Like, no, it's not winter. You don't know what winter is. Yeah,
Yes.
I'll show
Now
you
I
what winter is. It's like it's
now I
winter.
say that
It's
to my
2 degrees.
parents.
It's 2 degrees colder right now in Cali, in Caracas. It's winter. And it's like 2 degrees Celsius. That's it. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's nothing. That's nothing.
I know.
Uh,
We are like that, but
yeah.
I understand them, but I know it's not
It's
the way
not a
they
big deal.
think.
2 degrees Celsius colder is not a big deal for most gringos, that's for sure.
No,
Now, so you're in New York. Obviously, now you split time between Edmonton, which is my province, and also Palm Springs in California. So, how did you get from New York to now Edmonton and Palm Springs? Can you quickly explain that for us?
how I got into a relationship,
Mhm.
and my partner is from this
It's from my part of the
yeah,
world, yeah, Alberta. Yeah.
from this part of the world, from Alberta. I never in my life thought I was gonna be living for a
Yeah.
period of time in Alberta.
Yeah. Okay,
You
well,
know,
quick
the
story for people watching
attraction
this.
love.
So yeah, so Daniel, he spends a lot of time in Edmonton, which is the capital of my province. And actually, even for people, I told Daniel this, and now he likes it. So the nickname for Edmonton, because it's not a very exciting city. So the nickname for Edmonton is Deadmonton, which is like it's dead. Like there's nothing really happening in Edmonton, so we call it Deadmonton. So yeah, Daniel likes that name. So he's like, yeah, I'm in
I'm
Deadmonton right
very
now.
careful with that. I
Yeah,
know
yeah. Obviously, you don't want to
who
be
to
telling
say
people
it.
in
I'm telling you
Edmonton.
because I know
Yeah.
you like to be outside of Edmonton a lot. So, but
Yeah.
for those who loved Edmonton so much, I should. Oh, Edmonton is
Yeah,
pretty
I'm
nice.
pretty sure there's people that like Edmonton. I
Yeah,
don't think
yeah,
there's
yeah.
anything wrong with Edmonton. Yeah,
No,
obviously, if you're a Latino, because lots of Latinos they want to go to Canada, they're thinking, oh, which part of Canada should I live in? I I still think Edmonton, compared to many Latin American cities, still lots of green spaces, lots of parks. Obviously, the roads are well paved. So I would still say it's better than most Latin American cities when it comes to
no,
infrastructure.
definitely,
Yeah. But yeah,
definitely.
it's not the most
I
exciting city in
yeah.
Canada, United States.
In this point, or at this point, sorry, I've learned to see like the good
Mhm,
things or the good side
mhm,
of my current situation,
mhm.
So if I'm here now, and I'm liking Edmonton more and more every day, I know it's not my city,
Mhm.
or at least at this time of my life
Yeah, it's not
when
your
I want
preferred
to
city. You would
do more
prefer to
things. Yeah,
be in other
I
places. Yeah.
like
Mhm,
the excitement or like the stress of a big city.
mhm,
Edmonton is not a big city.
mhm,
It's small, but it's pretty. It's
mhm,
actually really pretty. Like during the summer, it's like beautiful. Like the greens, the trees, the activities you do, like are very like kind of Latino activities, because
okay.
you just hang in the parks with
Mhm,
your family, you barbecue,
yeah.
or you just go for run, or you bike or
Mhm,
hike, and things like that. That are and like the views are like really really beautiful. I love it,
mhm.
and I like the the fact that it's pretty easy to move into the city in your car, of course,
Mhm.
because
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
the
It's not.
public transportation is not the best,
No.
because it's like
Well, yeah,
it's not.
Alberta's like the Texas of Canada, and very I would say it's one of the most Americanized provinces, like culturally wise. So obviously Americans, they love cars. So yeah, my province, public transportation in cities isn't very good. We like to drive. Um, but yeah, if you're
Yeah,
driving, then obviously,
it's pretty
yeah,
short. It's like
yeah.
everything is close, everything
Mhm.
is like, easy to get there. As Venezuelan, that we're always late, so it's very convenient because you can leave 5 minutes before before the appointment.
You know you're gonna get there in time.
You're gonna get probably late because you're natural as Venezuelan, but not as late as
not as late as you usually would
if you're like in a
Venezuela.
crazy city.
Okay, yeah. All right. So you went from New York to Edmonton because you got into a relationship. I believe you're married now, right?
Right.
Yeah, you're married now. Yeah. That guy's like, oh yeah, you're married now. Yeah. All right.
Yes,
well,
I am. And of course, it brought me here for like different reasons. We have to come for family reasons, or like legal reasons, stuff that we have to do here first, and I have to do here. So, and I spend my time between Palm Springs and Edmonton. But we left New York mostly after the pandemic started. So we were there, we had a place there, but because the pandemic just was so bad in New York, it was where everything started, where like epicenter. I don't know if that's a word.
The epicenter of the pandemic in the United States, I guess you would say.
Yeah, it happened in New York. So it was, as you can probably remember, it was like very, very bad. So we just decided to left New York at least until things get better. Things get better. Yes, it's coming down, but it's not quite safe yet to go back. To go back. So we're just waiting for that moment. In the meantime, I'm just spending my time here, mostly in Edmonton. And I go down to Palm Springs once in a while.
Good.
Once in a while.
Now, so you stopped taking classes. I think the biggest reason you stopped taking classes was because you were going to start a program, right? Something was it filmmaking? You were going to take a course in filmmaking?
Would you say with your classes?
Yeah, with my class. Yeah, stop taking my class. I think at that time
because I finished the academic school. At Hunter School, and then I did 2 levels here at University of Alberta, and I
didn't start taking my class, but
exactly.
But after my classes, because weren't you going to take a program, some sort of filmmaking program?
I'm taking a program.
I can't remember what it was. I want to say like something with makeup or something with production.
No, it's direction and production.
Okay, direction and production.
Direction.
Was it with the Vancouver Film School, or who was it with?
Yeah, the Vancouver Film School. Yeah, it's an online program for now.
Yeah. And how long is it? Because I think you started when you stopped taking class with me. It's 1 year. Okay. Yeah.
It's 1 year. Yes. It's 1 year.
And is it all virtual, or do you take classes?
It's all virtual for now.
Okay.
But in some point I have to probably go to Vancouver for like probably a short period of time. Like,
well, that'd be good. Vancouver's a nice city. I like Vancouver. Yeah.
I'm dying to go to Vancouver.
Yeah, I think you like Vancouver. Vancouver's.
I went to Montreal, and I love Montreal too. It was like really cool.
I've never been to Montreal. I think Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, they all have interesting things. I guess quickly
different
for
too.
Latinos. Yeah. So like Montreal would be for culture. Toronto is like big city, New York style city. And then Vancouver is if you like nature, you like calm, hippie, peaceful vibes, then Vancouver is the place to be. All right. So soon Daniel's going to go to Vancouver. All right. Well, I guess we can start talking a little bit about English. You already told us a little bit. You said in Venezuela. So it's like with all Venezuelans, you took English classes starting when you were young in school, right? And I've talked to other Venezuelans. I'm pretty sure it was the same for you. Just teaches you the basics. 1 class a week, probably just conjugation almost every week. Like, so everybody, I am, you are,
totally,
we are. Yeah. Obviously. This happens to many people, even for me. I took French classes in university. I remember after my first semester of French, I was like, oh, I can go to France right now and I can speak French. And then you realize, oh, maybe my French isn't as good as I thought it was. So a similar thing in your case, you thought you had a good English level. You went to New York, you realized it wasn't too great. Then you took those public school classes for 8 months.
Yes.
And then what did you do after those public school classes? Were you taking more classes in New York? Or did you take a break for a little bit?
No, I started already. Like as I told you before, I got into like Hunter School, which is a private
Okay, yeah,
school,
yeah.
and I got on into the third level
Okay,
of English as a second language.
okay,
And I started there, and I did from level 3 to level 7.
okay. And how long was that?
And
Was that like is a
a
month per
year,
level? A year? Okay,
like
1 year.
a year,
Mhm.
a year. It was a year, and like a year and 2 months, something
Okay,
like that.
yeah.
And then I came to Canada, and I did 2 levels at University of Alberta. The
Okay,
placement test at University of Alberta uh, took me to like level level 6.
okay.
Yes,
Out of 10, is it how many
for them.
levels
No,
for
out
them?
of 8.
Out of 8.
I just
Okay, so
have to
you're
do.
pretty. That's pretty high. So level
Yeah,
6 out
I
of 8.
have
Yeah.
to do 2 more
Okay,
at the University of Alberta, and I got my certificate from them
okay.
that I can actually study in any
Okay, so
university
basically, if you
institute.
finish those 8 levels at University of Alberta, it more or less says you can study in any university in Canada, more or less.
Yes,
Oh,
in
that's
any.
nice. Okay.
Because I don't even have to take the TOEFL test
No, no, yeah.
or the other one that I don't remember the name.
I think in Canada it's called the CELPIP. There's the CELPIP, there's TOEFL, there's IELTS. So yeah, it depends.
Those I
Okay.
didn't I don't have actually now I don't have to take them to get into a university because I have my certificate that I complete
Okay.
my academic levels of English at
Mhm.
University of Alberta. So
Okay.
I
That's nice.
finished those,
Yeah.
and then the pandemic came,
Mhm.
and I didn't study English probably for 3 or 4 months
Okay. Yeah.
until I found you.
Okay. Well, I guess we can switch to the best topic, which is about myself. So so
That's kind of
how did you find me? Yeah, well, let's start there. How did you find me? Was it like many others, just on Instagram? You saw a post and you started following me?
no, actually was from one of my best friends.
Okay.
Her name is Emily
Okay.
Mendoza. I don't know if you remember her because she lives in Spain,
Okay.
and she talked me about you.
Okay.
She talked to me about you. She said like she was taking your beginners class,
Okay.
not
Yeah, no, I
like
think I remember.
was
I think I remember the name. Well, because Venezuelans have very memorable names. Daniel,
yes.
yeah, Daniel's a bad Venezuelan because he has a very regular name. He doesn't have any exotic Venezuelan name. But no, I think I remember that name. Yeah. So your best friend, she was in Spain
Yeah,
taking.
she's
Yeah.
still in Spain, but she started taking classes with you, and
Mhm.
I was just talking to her, and I say like, "Well, I feel very very good, or I feel much better about my English. The
Mhm.
thing is, I don't have the opportunity to talk a lot about
Mhm.
talk or to practice it a
Mhm.
lot because I just live with my partner and other member of our family. We're just 3 people here. Everybody
Mhm.
is like in their own thing,
Yeah, yeah,
and I don't
yeah.
have friends
And
here. I
Canadians don't
don't.
like to talk a lot. So yes.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
I don't have friends here. I don't.
yeah.
How can I practice? Because I can read English
Mhm.
and I can write it now. Probably not like as perfect as
Yeah.
like an American or Canadian would do it.
Mhm.
But I feel pretty confident about that area, but I don't feel pretty confident about my speaking because
Okay.
when I talk, I still getting stuck, and like my accent is pretty strong, which I
Mhm.
don't have a problem with my accent, but
Mhm.
I want to, I've I've heard like people from different backgrounds with like very strong accents,
Mhm.
but their English is very easy to understand. You can
Mhm.
understand them very well, but
Yeah.
I'm still, I don't know, my speaking, I don't feel
Mhm.
secure or
Mhm.
pretty
Yeah.
confident
Yeah,
about
exactly.
my speaking, mostly because at the school where I went to, even Hunter and University of Alberta, they're very focused on the academic part. So
Okay.
have
Yeah.
to the grammar,
Mm,
how to build an essay,
mhm,
how to be like more fluent with your words, like how
mhm.
to the rules, like this rule for not being for not the copyrights is for the for
Oh, like
citing
oh yeah, citations, like how to do
citations
citations.
and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
all the things that are like a pain because you know
Even
it
for us,
was
it's a pain in the ass. We gotta learn it too. And it's like, oh man, I gotta learn
it's
that.
been very helpful because like school the academic part pushed me to know the grammar very well, so
Yeah.
I it was like almost 2 years
Mhm,
learning grammar, so and I
mhm,
know grammar is like very important,
mhm.
but to talk it wasn't like the main goal for them, for us
Mhm.
to
Yeah.
they they didn't care if we have an accent or not,
Mhm.
or if our pronunciation is good or bad.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they probably know that in uh, like during the path of studying and living here we're
Yeah.
gonna improve
Yeah.
that, but my anxiety was mostly
Mhm.
uh, related with my speaking, like
Okay.
my so and my friend, she told me about you, and she showed me your Instagram.
Mhm.
Of course I started following you, and I just decided to take your placement test,
Okay. Yeah. So yeah,
and then
you took the
everything
placement test.
started.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I took it. I
Uh-huh.
took it.
And well, I'm guessing you probably got a good score on the placement test because you have good English. Uh, and then so yeah, what made you? Well, obviously because you told us your
The
biggest
placement
weakness.
test was
Yeah.
pretty easy
Yeah.
because it's like grammar.
Yeah. It's grammar. Well, yeah, it's like a lot of
It's
grammar. So yeah,
grammar, you know.
if you're good at
I didn't
grammar,
talk to you.
yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
speak to you. I just filled up the
yeah,
questions, and it
yeah,
was
yeah,
like, okay, it's haven't or I have to, or it's
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
know this. You know, it's
yeah, yeah.
this is pretty easy for me to
Easy
do
stuff.
it, figure it out.
All right. So you took the placement test, and what made you decide to take the classes? Obviously, you said you want to get better at speaking. You want to practice your speaking. You also want to get better at pronunciation. So yeah, what pushed you over the edge to try classes with me?
Oh well, yeah. First of all, it was during the pandemic. I wasn't doing much. I
Okay, yeah.
needed to do something for me. It
Mhm,
was like, uh, and I always try, you know,
mhm,
I always try to
mhm,
see if I like it or if
mhm.
it's good, or I'm gonna stay.
You'll
I'm
try
gonna
anything once. Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna try. So, but of course, my friend, she gave me like a very good reviews for you. So she
Mhm,
said like it's very interactive, it's very dynamic, it's
mhm.
very uh she's very nice and things like that. So she said um and that just like gave me like a vision or like
Mhm.
uh
A good idea of what the
yeah, good idea.
classes are going to be like.
I
Yeah.
can try, you know, it's, why
Mhm,
not? So
mhm,
why not to try? So
mhm.
it's and I have the time, I have the I'm I'm locked down here in this house. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it was like the right moment to do it. So
Okay.
I didn't know
Mhm.
what exactly I was going to find there
Yeah.
because because what my friend
Mhm.
told me was also very like a brief
Yeah.
opinion, or I
Mhm.
never saw like a paper or like a
Mhm.
video.
Yeah.
I actually didn't go to YouTube and
Mhm.
watch your videos. I just got into the like the waiting list,
Yeah. You
and
trusted your friend, and okay. Well, actually, that was the next question. So obviously, your friend tried, well, did her best to explain to you what the classes were like, but even for me, it's difficult to explain what my classes are like. So was it something that stood out, something that surprised you when you started taking the classes that yeah, that made them different than anything else you ever tried?
um yes, definitely yes, because I never tried like online classes before. First of
Okay.
all,
Yeah.
I'm not like an online person. Like before
Yeah.
the pandemic, I preferred to like person to person, mostly because of my my personality. So
Yeah.
I'm very first of all, I'm like a very distracted. And I tend to get distracted pretty easy. So it's
Yeah.
like if I'm at home and someone just tells me something, or I see something or have to do something, and so I'm not gonna be focused. Like when I am in a classroom and I don't have any other option and I don't have any other escape to stay there, I probably can be thinking in other things, but it helps me to focus easier when I'm present. So when I'm present and know when it's online.
Yeah.
I had that concept about online classes before, but after the pandemic and after your class, I noticed that it's actually easier. It's easier and it's convenient, and I can deal with it and it helped me actually to focus more, which it was something that it's always been an issue to me to be like focused. I'm when I'm focused, I'm very good on focusing.
Okay.
But I'm also very easy to get distracted. So well, it was very convenient, and also it was totally new because we don't play that much as we play in your classes. And when I mean play, it's like the different activities that you offer and like the dynamic, which is fun, and like to have like fun classes. It's nice.
So yeah, actually, that might be the first time. I think I like how you described it, but it's the first time somebody said that. So for you, like from your perspective, going to class. So, well, yeah. First, I think lots of people have the same idea of online classes as you do, where they don't want to do them because from their experience, obviously lots of Latinos, they've done open English, for example. And yeah, I've taught with open English, so I know those classes can be very boring. So lots of Latinos have this idea that online classes have to be boring. It's easy for them to get distracted. So one of the first things you noticed was that it was easy to focus. And so it seems like what you're trying to say is that it was easy to focus when the classes were fun and you felt like you were playing in class, more or less.
Yes. I don't know if it's something related with my generation, or I don't know if it's like what's happening now with social media and all the stuff. Probably it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
But it's it's kind of like the conventional method, and like talking about myself and all what I did to graduate from university, and I have experience. It's not like I'm starting now to go to school or something like that. It's like I don't want to do the same that I already did. I already went to school for so many years. I already went to university for 5 more years. Then I did a master for 3 more years or 2 more years. So I don't want to, it's just like I don't want to keep doing the same thing and feeling like obligated or like pressure to learn something. So why? So it's like at least personally in this point of my life, I don't want to learn like that. I want something fun. Actually, yes, fun. And when I mean fun, I don't say like, I don't mean like bochinche or relajo. I don't know what to say.
Oh, I don't know how to say that either. It sounds like something Venezuela. Yeah. Because I think if somebody hears,
it's I don't want to. I don't mean.
Somebody says play, they might think, oh, like
Yeah,
Profe Kyle
or
treats us like kids, or Profe Kyle isn't really,
or it's not
you know.
something serious.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. Yeah.
it's not something serious. So because I think what you do is amazing because it's something serious,
Yeah.
but also it's fun,
Mhm.
you know. So and I think in this time that's what we need, and that's like at least a strategy because I know it depends a lot in personalities
Mhm.
and backgrounds and experiences.
Mhm.
But in my opinion, in my personal case, it was like fun. You know, it's
Mhm.
like I'm meeting people from my own country, from other countries that are like in similar situations that I am,
Mhm.
and we are learning, and it's easy. It's not that. It's not like, oh my gosh, I have to go to school. Oh, I have to.
So it's like
You
so
know, it
much
was
work.
like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it was like, okay, well, it's English class. Let's do
Mhm.
it, because it's fun.
Mhm.
You have a good time and you learn.
Mhm. All right.
So
Yeah. I like how you described it. Yeah. I think it's the first time I've heard it like that, but I think, yeah, how you described it is perfect. That's what I try to do in the classes. Now, the reason, well, when you started taking the classes, the biggest thing you wanted to improve on was pronunciation and speaking. Of course, maybe you improved something else, but in your own words, what improved the most? Because you took classes for about 2 years. So what do you feel improved the most during your 2 years taking the classes with me?
um yeah, I'll say obviously the pronunciation. And also uh I don't know if this is a way to say, but because of my Latino background and my other academic knowledges,
Yeah, I think I know what you're trying to say, but yeah, yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
yeah, it's like, I don't know if this is a way to say it. I just heard it
Yeah.
from one of my
Okay.
teachers before that I'm
Yeah.
very uh worthy. It's like very worthy. It's like you say, I don't know, it's like, I don't know, when you're so like, you give like you do like a lot of turns to say something in the end.
Okay.
So and like Americans and Canadian are very direct, so
Okay.
they go
Oh,
straight to the
yeah. You
point.
mean like you like to beat around the bush, and yeah, Canadians are straight to the point.
Yes,
Okay. Yeah.
yes.
Hmm.
So it's like, because before I was still thinking in Spanish. I don't
Like,
think in
okay.
Spanish anymore, but I
Okay.
have that, I have that on my in my like in my veins. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I'm Latino, and I was in Venezuela for 30 years,
Hmm.
and I learned that way. So to do it straight to the point,
Hmm.
it was hard to
Oh, okay.
to
Yeah.
figure it out or to
Hmm.
understand, because no, it's too simple. It's like, it's too simple. Why have to say too simple? We don't talk like that. We have to, but here you talk like that. You're simple. You
Yeah.
have just to say what it is, and that's
Hmm.
it. You don't have to.
Hmm.
No, but it sounds like this person may feel offended, or I don't know if he's gonna understand me or not. But the more you talk, the less they understand you.
So
And so
yeah.
I tend to put everything like pretty, to say something
Yeah.
that is pretty easy to say. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
just simple.
Yeah.
And of course, talking to you, that you're very young too, and you're
Hmm.
very active, and you're very fun, and this and
Hmm.
that, but also you know what you're doing, and
Yeah.
you like what you do.
Hmm.
And those are things that you can feel,
Hmm.
because sometimes when you're talking to someone that is doing something just because they don't have any other choice, or
Hmm.
because for money or for anything else, you can tell like there is something that doesn't engage you with
Hmm.
the person or with the process. But of course, you have that energy
Hmm.
that allows allow us, or allow me, at
Hmm.
least allows me to to get engaged pretty easy.
Hmm.
And so what I most like is like the way you give us information.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty punctual, and that's something that led me to focus better in new vocabulary and like
Yeah. So yeah, when you say punctual
phrases
is
that you said.
yeah, punctual is an interesting word. I think I might know what you're trying to say. So punctual, you mean just when you took the classes and you learned new vocabulary, it felt like vocabulary that you needed at that time in your life and the vocabulary that you needed in order to keep on advancing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And also to be part of your culture too.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a big thing, and I think a lot of times, especially Latinos that go to Gringolandia, sometimes it's not really the accent which is creating friction between them and the gringos. It's more the cultural factor. So I don't really try to force it on you guys, but yeah, I definitely try to give you guys that cultural side that helps you guys understand how we are, so that there's less there's less friction between you and my people.
Like of course, like to understand what you like what I wanted to take from your class or from your classes took me like a little bit, because the first 4 months I was with Malachi, which is a great teacher too. He's really good. And then I switched to you, and it was just like, that is, I have to get used to you now after I was. So, but what I mean is, like, understand, like, for example, the way you speak or the way you move your lips is something that, of course, with your Instagram reels is very useful too, because you show the way you position your mouth or your tone, and it's something that I wasn't aware before of that. It's like I thought in my mind, even though when I was concerned about my poor speaking skills, I thought I was easy to understand from other gringos, from other Canadians or Americans. But I currently ask myself why people ask me to repeat myself again, to say it again. Why, if I think in my mind, I'm saying it fine, I'm doing well, and I'm in my mind I speak English very well, but they make me repeat it again. Why? And it's because, like, for example, like I have a friend who like, he's American, he's from Los Angeles, and he told me, you're doing very well, you're doing great with the English, but I think as you told me, because I talk about my Venezuelan background, as you told me before, Venezuelans tend to cut the end of the words.
Yeah, I said Venezuelans are very Caribbean, so you guys very Caribbean influence, so you guys like to get rid of the ending of words a lot.
Yes. We cut the S's and the D's and the Z and all those letters. And he said, you tend to do the same in English, so it's like you have to finish the word, you have to pronounce, even though if it sounds exaggerated, because you're not like a native like an English speaker, but it's better to be exaggerated, and you can finish the end of the words, and it's gonna be easier for others to understand you, or at least to don't make you repeat. Or some people are going to understand you anyways, because they probably know that you're not like, you don't speak English like
It's
a
not your first
native
language,
and they can probably understand what you're saying, but they know you're making a mistake, or or some people won't correct you because they don't want to make you feel bad, or they just don't care.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I focus a lot on pronunciation. And yeah, your pronunciation improved a lot with the classes. Yeah, sometimes you get comments from Latinos. Normally they're Latinos that never been to the United States or Canada, but on social media they'll say, "Oh, you're being racist because you want us to, get rid of our Latino accent." But I think it's exactly like you said. It's just I've experienced the same things in Latin America. It's very frustrating when people say, well, in Spanish, be like, "¿Qué? ¿Qué dijiste?" And I'm like, "Oh." So I was like, you got to repeat yourself again, and that's very frustrating. So obviously, improving your pronunciation, it's not like I'm trying to get you guys to get rid of your Latino accent completely, because that's very difficult to do completely. But to get yourself to a point where, yeah, you don't have to constantly get those confused faces that want you to repeat again. And so, yeah, it's better for the native speakers, better for the Canadians and the Americans. They feel better speaking to you. Because that's the other thing too, is if you don't understand somebody very well, especially Canadians and Americans, it's like, we're not going to be mean. We're not going to say, I don't want to talk to you because I don't understand you, but we're going to try to avoid you because we feel very, especially Canadians, we feel very embarrassed that we can't understand what you're saying. So we'll try to avoid you and not talk to you just to make you not feel bad, like you said. But yeah, if you have a nice neutral accent, then we're going to want to talk to you more. Conversation will be better for you. It'll be better for them. So it just makes everything better.
Yes. I understood, like, my accent wasn't the problem, because sometimes, like at the beginning when you're learning, it's like, oh, it's your accent, it's like, because you have an accent. But I later understood that people here like accents. They don't care about accents. They just care about understanding you. And that was like I changed my, like, the direction of my goal, which wasn't to lose my accent, just to improve my speaking.
So maybe before taking classes, like, okay, I'm going to take Profe Kyle's classes. I'm going to get rid of my accent completely. And then during the classes, you realized, okay, it's going to be incredibly difficult to try to speak exactly like an American or a Canadian. But I know that I can improve my accent so that, things are better when I'm speaking to native speakers.
Correct.
All right. Now there's different classes in my classes, different types of classes. You referred to that before, like there's so many different activities that you did with me. So was there one class that you enjoyed more than the others? Was there a favorite that you had?
Probably because I really like everything about acting, directing, producing. Like, your movie class is like one of my favorites, because you gave us like a character, and we just see a scene from any show that you bring up, and it's like to play the characters, to put the intention, and I really like that class. But I also love the class that I don't know if that class has a name, but it's like the presentation class, where when you bring up the videos, it's like with a specific topic, and you bring like 4 or 5 videos of that topic, and we have to watch it and then answer questions. I love that one. I really love that one, because also you always bring like interesting topics, and it's usually things that I didn't know before, and I also learned about something else besides the English. So I think those are my 2 favorite classes.
I think I like that about the Venezuelans. The Venezuelans seem to be the ones that enjoy those classes the most, which is, I think, a thing I enjoy, is that the Venezuelans are very culturally curious, I would say. So I just quickly, for anybody who's watching this, the 2 classes Daniel described, the first one is, I call it movie talk for the intermediates. And basically I take a famous TV show or a famous movie, we look at some scenes, and then we take the dialogue, and students like Daniel, they're going to act out the dialogue, and then we'll talk about the vocabulary so they understand this is how we speak, this is why we say that. So yeah, that's interesting, culturally interesting as well. because you can see how gringos actually are. And then the other class that Daniel talked about was, presentation class. So normally I'll find something that maybe confuses students like Daniel about gringos, and then I'll see if I can find videos about it. Yeah, and like Daniel said, like 4 or 5 videos from YouTube usually, of people explaining gringo culture or differences between cultures. And students learn basically why things are the way they are for gringos. So I enjoy teaching those classes because I do enjoy sharing the culture, and it's always nice to have students like Daniel who are like, ooh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. All right, I think we're getting close to the end here. Okay, I want to ask you this question because it's very difficult for me, like I told you before, to describe my methodology. So from your perspective, so in 1 or 2 sentences, if there was, for example, your friends described me to you in the very beginning. That's why I took classes. So imagine you're in the same place as your friends, 3 years ago. How would you describe the Profe Kyle methodology in 1 or 2 sentences to somebody who was interested in it?
Oh my gosh.
Yes, it's difficult. It's very difficult. Yeah.
Oh, I think the methodology you use is very helpful, easy, light, and fun. I think it's something that if if you have like a very uh, high schedule, or if you are very you have a lot of responsibility with the work and the family, or I don't know, other studies or work, I don't know, this is like a methodology that is gonna like relieve you from for stress. You're gonna have fun, and you're gonna learn because it's very specific. It's very specific about what you are teaching and in your classes, but also it's very open because you can talk, you can listen to, you can write down, which is not my favorite part, by the way.
I don't think it's anybody's favorite class. I think there was one student who liked writing, but not because they liked it, because it was important for their professional development.
Okay.
I don't think anybody likes writing
Oh,
that
because he doesn't, or because he doesn't want to talk.
Oh yeah, maybe that as well. Yeah.
Some people don't want to talk. But yeah, I don't know how to describe it into sentences, but I just can say that it's like a very fresh, very nice, useful, and it's easy to digest.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah, it's easy to digest, and also uh, it, in my case, gave me the chance uh, to see how it works with different people with my same situation. Because it's because you teach mostly for Latinos, which is fine, but it's like when I went to school here, I was with uh, like people from other countries and other languages too, like Chinese, Turkish, Russians, and I think it's harder when you have so many
different
different
cultures.
languages,
Yeah.
because the teacher has to focus and different things at the same time.
Yeah.
And as I told you, I'm very distracted.
Yes.
And it was like probably you would learn better or more when you are with when it's challenging for you to be to push yourself to understand and to learn, because probably with the Latinos it's kind of easy because we understand each other even when we're from different countries. It's like we have a connection. But at the same time, I think it's like the perfect place to focus on our own issues, because probably Chinese have different issues than we do.
Yeah, for sure.
And like Turkish too. I don't know. And Turkish, is that how you say it?
Turkish, yeah.
I just compare with the Turkey.
No, yeah. Well, when gringos are kids, we always make fun of like, why is there a country called Turkey? That makes no sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, oh my gosh, is this right?
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Mhm.
but like having this opportunity to learn with Latinos, because I can also see my like weaknesses or my issues reflected on other ones.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I can tell, oh, I do the same thing,
Yeah, it's like,
and
so you hear
I can
another
learn from
person
that.
make a mistake and you're like, oh, I do the same thing as that person. I
I
got
do
to
the
fix
same
that.
thing, yeah.
Yeah.
And I can and so I think that's great,
Mhm.
because probably we make the same mistakes with like than other
Mhm.
races.
Yeah.
Races? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't think Latino's technically a race, but yeah, some people say it's a race. Well, culture, race. Yeah, we know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I know because when we fill up a form and
Yeah.
and they put like the races, like,
Yeah.
are you black? Are you white? Are you Asian? I don't
I
know.
actually, I guess
And
for
it's
anybody who's
never
watching this, yeah. So United States and Canada, I think more United States, but with the different races for the forms, they'll have white, they'll have black, they'll have like Asian, and then they'll have, I think they'll say Hispanic, which is I guess Daniel because he's more trigueño, and then they have like not like Hispanic, like no Hispanic white. It's like not like, so it's like they have like white Hispanic and then non-white Hispanic. So yeah, it's
yeah.
kind of
I
confusing.
just get very confused with
Yeah,
those definitions.
yeah,
But but I'm probably we probably have common mistakes or
yeah.
common things, but like Latinos, we probably have like that connection that make us do the same thing or repeat the
Mhm,
same thing because of our culture or
mhm,
of the way we learned English and in our childhood.
mhm,
But for sure, uh, yeah, it's like I think it's a good methodology. So I'm pretty sure it's a great methodology that you are um, putting it in a like in a way that is easy.
mhm,
It's nice, it's fun, and also uh, we learn,
mhm.
which is, I guess, the most important because it's like like fun. To have fun is very important, but we have like a purpose, a goal.
Mhm.
Or if I want to have just fun, and just go to your class and just
Mhm.
watch it or listen to, but
Yeah.
without an intention. But
Mhm.
if you have like a purpose or a
Mhm.
goal, it's gonna be
Mhm.
for sure a good path to take.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I think you might remember because you took classes with Andrea, and yeah, she said something similar. She said, "I like going to your classes because I have a horrible day at work, and I look forward to your classes because I can have fun and relax." Because I think lots of people when they think about English classes, they think, "Oh, there's gonna be more work. I'm gonna be even more stressed out. I got work, and then I got English classes, and then I go home and I'm tired." And yeah, I think that's one thing that surprises a lot of people. They go to English classes and they enjoy it. It's fun to do.
And also you keep the motivation up, because it's like I stood there for 2 years. I
Hmm.
probably have a lot of more things to learn.
Hmm.
But also I don't like to get too used to something
Yeah.
when it's like too long,
Hmm.
and because I get comfortable in that way, and so I think in my case that of course I took a lot of English before too, like academic English.
Yeah.
And it's like I have a friend too that she always calls me, and she said she lives in the US, and she said she always called me when I was about to take the class with you, like in our time, and I said to her, I have Kyle classes, I have English classes, so. And she always say, "Oh my gosh, until when are you gonna take English classes? Until when?"
Yeah.
So you've been here like for how many years, and you're still taking English classes? Are you not tired?
Yeah.
Um, uh, no.
Yeah.
I want to learn more.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to improve, and
I think,
also it's fun, because if you don't feel motivated,
yeah.
and you just leave.
Yeah, because I think what you're describing, and I try to do that for me, because I've taken language classes before too, and I know exactly what you're talking about, where you get comfortable and then you get bored and then you don't really feel motivated. So with my classes, and I think you probably agree, is like you're always learning something, and you feel more confident, but at the same time you also realize there's so much more to learn. So it's not like you feel like, oh my goodness, English is the hardest thing in the world, I'm never gonna learn it. You feel more confident, but at the same time, like, holy cow, like this culture, there's so many different aspects to it. Like, oh my, there's so much vocabulary, there's so much slang that they use. There's so much more to learn. So I know if I take more classes, I'm gonna learn more. Yeah, so that keeps you motivated because you always know that you're gonna learn something.
Yeah, and also there is a point where it's like when you raise your children. I guess I don't have children, but
Yeah.
but it's like there is a point where you have to just go to the streets and practice and talk.
Yeah. I think that's one thing that like most of my students, so I think Daniel, and like almost all the students that I interview, the time when they usually leave classes is when basically other opportunities come up. So with Daniel, he started taking taking the course, the program at the Vancouver Film School.
Program, yes.
Fernanda, she is now taking accounting, a master's degree in accounting. So I always feel good about that, is that my students, they usually only leave when they either get a better job opportunity or they feel so confident in their English that they're not scared to take an academic program in English, because I have a whole bunch of students now taking academic programs in English. So yeah, that makes me feel good. And because sometimes people hear like, why would Daniel take 2 years of English with you? That means like your methodology is a failure and it doesn't work. And for me, it's, well, if you talk to my students, no, it works. And usually the only time that they want to leave the classes is when, okay, like I need to, I guess in a way, like I'm a parent and my kids, they feel confident that they can survive on their own. So they leave the house, pretty much.
It's like a natural process. In my case, of course, I had this chance to start a new program. Like it wasn't learning English; it was just like it's in English. I have to fight with it. I have to, of course, learn new things, and I have to apply the ones that I already know. And this is a great opportunity, and it's like also something like very personal to push myself to another level too. So like not that I won't get on that level with you. It's just like I also have to, okay, I know as a Latino, I learned through your classes what are like my issues, like issues why people make me repeat it, why I have to say it again, why we talk like this, why I cut the words, why I don't move my lips like the way I have to move them, right? Because it's like an exercise, like so like the ones that we did together is true, like which is very useful because you don't realize that how important is to use the movement on your mouth and your lips, and how the words and the meaning and change when you use it
Mhm.
properly. So, and all the things that seems like not important,
Mhm.
it's very important. And I feel much better, much confident, and I'm very thankful. My friend just talk about you,
Yeah.
and I got into the classes in the right moment too, because it
Yeah.
was during the pandemic. So
Mhm.
sometimes I'm very despair, so I have to do a lot of things,
Mhm.
and I had the chance to focus on your classes too and to learn. And at the time, it was 4 times uh, per week. I did it like
Oh, yeah, I think when we
from Monday
started.
to Thursday.
Yeah.
From Monday to Thursday, it was
Yeah.
just it
Yeah.
wasn't just 2 classes. It was 4 classes,
Yeah.
and I love it. I
Mhm.
really love it. Yeah.
All right. Good. Well, I think that's all the questions I have for you, Daniel. Was there anything else you want? Anything else that people should know about learning English with me? You talked about a lot, so
Um,
I think you covered everything, but maybe there's
I talk
something
a
you missed
lot.
out. Yeah. Well, something about Daniel. Daniel, yeah, Daniel likes to talk. So yeah,
I
I never
talk a
had
lot.
problems making Daniel talk. That's for sure.
No, I have to shut up my mouth sometimes because
I think that probably a big for Canadians. That might be one thing. Canadians be like, "Oh, Daniel, you're a friendly guy, but
stop.
you talk a lot." Yeah, Canadians are not good at talking. So holy cow, that's a lot of talking that's going on.
No, I know. No, but no, what I have to say, I say that, as I
Mhm.
told you, I'm very thankful,
Mhm.
and I'm glad you're doing this for Latinos, for our community.
Mhm.
It's very nice to be understood by someone who is not a Latino, and
Mhm.
also who knows our language and
Mhm.
and our culture too, because you're very involved
Mhm.
with our culture and you like it, and that's something that also helps a lot. So it helps a lot, the fact that you want to learn about us too, and you want to know about us, and um, um, that makes the process easier, like much easier. So thanks for everything.
Well, thank you, Daniel, for taking the classes, and yeah, thanks for doing this interview. So basically, anybody who's watching this, if you want information about the classes that Daniel took or the other courses, go to the website profekyle.com. So we're gonna say goodbye for now. So everybody who's watching this, thank you for watching. I'll see you in another interview, and have a good day. Bye.
Goodbye. Take the English class.